وبركاته. Ramadan Kareem. You know, when we talked about the ayat that described Al-Quran Al-Kareem, in one ayah it says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described Al-Quran Al-Kareem being a book revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam through Jibreel. وإنه لتنزيل من رب العالمين, and it is a revelation from the Lord of the worlds. نزل به الروح الأمين, the trustworthy spirit descended down to you in a clear Arabic. So it means that there are 4 elements in the message of Quran and of course Sunnah, because the message of Sunnah or the Sunnah is part of the message of Islam. What are those 4 elements? Number 1, for the message to be a message, it has to have sender. Someone sent the message, and then the recipients. Some people are addressed by the message, and then the courier or the messenger, and the message itself. Here in the message of Islam, we have the 4 elements. God or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the sender, the one who sent the message. The messenger is Muhammad, addressing mankind, started with Arabs in certain area, and the message has certain contents. If we got confused in any of these things, there will be consequence for this. If we for a moment forget that this is from God, then it will turn to be a problematic. That's why, you know, we have in the Ahkam Shar'iyya, the jurist must provide the evidence from Quran and Sunnah, and the evidence connects us to Quran and Sunnah. So it's not now the elaboration of Malik or Shafi'i or Ahmed. It is connected to the source, Quran and Sunnah, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the Shari', to the lawgiver. And the other point is Muhammad. So whatever Muhammad brought, and we have the Shari'i sources as explained in Surah in Usul al-Fiqh, but whatever Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought to people, not whatever I myself after 1400 years saw in my dream that Muhammad told me to do this and this and this. If someone sees Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even if he knows his description very well, and we know that the shaitan does not come in the shape of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the shaitan لا يتمثل بي, in one hadith, the shaitan does not resemble me. So but if a person sees in his vision, in his dream, that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to him and told him you have to recite subhanallah 1,000 times after Salatul Maghrib, does this carry legal value? No, does not. Why? Because this is not part of the Sunnah. The Sunnah is compiled and, you know, explained in books of Hadith, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Musnad Ahmad, and so on, and in the books of Fiqh. This is none of this. So, and it is after the death of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it has no legal value. The third point is that it is coming to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through revelation. To Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the revelation comes in different forms. The Quran came through Jibreel, and the other contents came to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through some other forms, inspiration, giving him the meaning, seeing the hukum shar'i while he's sleeping, and so on. So if someone is coming to us and says, I take from God directly, I don't need this medium between me and between God, wait a minute. This is not Islam. Islam is we take what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought to us in this message. Not whatever my qalb, my heart tells me that God told me. حدثني قلبي عن ربي. My heart told me from my Lord. No, that's not part of Islam. And the last point is the content. Quran and Sunnah has certain message, and this message talks about man-woman relationship, transactions, morals, worship, values, everything. And its application comes at different levels. So me as an individual, I have to apply certain rules. I cannot, it's not my responsibility nor it's my jurisdiction to apply the entire body of Sharia. Different أحكام شرعية should be applied by different at different levels by different people. So if we talk about the individual rules, أحكام شرعية belongs to us as individuals. Yes, it's within our jurisdiction. If we talk about food, it's within our jurisdiction. The salah within our jurisdiction. The dua, the ibadah, it's within our jurisdiction. Marriage and divorce, it's within our jurisdiction, but we'll talk about now two parties. The salah is one party, the marriage is two parties, and so on. The bay', the trade, this is also two-side transaction, but it's addressed to us, it is addressing us as individuals or as a group. But we talk about أحكام شرعية, that is addressing Muslims as community, as a group. يعني الإمام القرطبي, when he talked about the ayat cutting the hand of the thief, he says this ayah by itself and the ayat of the qisas, the capital punishment for homicide crime, he said these ayat mean that there must be authority, there must be sultan, there must be imam, grand imam to apply this. He said people cannot apply it. So if I am in a masjid or if I'm a tribal chief sitting in certain town and telling my people, listen, I am the boss, so if anyone steals, I will cut his hand. That's not Sharia at all. A person says, well, he cut his hand. Yeah, but he is not authorized to cut his hand. He doesn't have the jurisdiction. He doesn't have the legitimacy to cut his hand. So what Sultan Hassan Balqi of Broadway did recently, claiming that he is applying the Sharia, and he went just to two items that are part of the penal code, with some discussion about them. But those two items are not the Sharia. The whole penal code is not meant to be the Sharia. The penal code is meant to be penal code. The Sharia is something else. So you have the traffic law, and you have the penal code. If you violate this article in the traffic code, you should stop at red signal. This is the law, the stipulation in the traffic code. If you cross, you will pay this much, $500. Now, this is the part of the penal code. You cannot eliminate the first part and take from the vehicle code just the articles that talk about the punishment or the consequence of breaking the law. The same thing in the penal code. You cannot ignore the أحكام شرعية and just look at the penal code and say this is Islam, this is not Islam. That's one point. As an example, Islam requests from us to respect the private property. And to do so, Islam also made it haram to steal. And to apply it, you have to have the government, judicial system, part of the political system, applying the economic system that will guarantee that there will be no person pushed to steal. And then apply the internalization of the individuals to have the internal motivation to abide by the hukum shari. And if it didn't work, then you have the penal code. The judge will step in. So ignoring all of this and move all the way to the judge and tell him you have to stone this and that, this is not Sharia at all. And let alone he doesn't even have the legitimacy to apply it. Because if he wants the legitimacy to apply it, he must go to people, telling people, I am taking the power because of Britain. You know, Broadway was a British protectorate. After they left the country, they left the status quo, or the ruler who was ruling during that British colonization, he was kept as a ruler because Britain imposed him. So he has no legitimacy. He belongs to the legacy of Great Britain. If he wants to apply, he must go to people, or educate people, building the public awareness, telling people you have the power, Choose any person to rule you, and then let's see how can we apply Sharia. But jumping to gain some legitimacy or to clean his image will not help. Actually, it will hurt, especially now in the age where Islamophobia is spreading. They'll tell you, look, this is Islam. Even the ones who will defend Muslims, they'll tell you, okay, what is he doing? You know, but as some European newspapers said, there are certain Arab countries, and now add to them Brownway, contributes and helps the machine of Islamophobia. And this is because we missed understanding the message of Islam. If someone comes and starts terrorist acts here and there claiming that this is jihad, that's not jihad. Because the jihad, if you want to apply it in the right way, you have to have certain mechanism, certain political system, and certain apparatus. It doesn't exist. Declaring jihad is not to Bin Laden or to the Wahiri or to Daesh or to this or to that. Like we said, if we miss any point in those 4 points, there will be great consequence in this and great harm. So we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He'll help us understand the message of Islam as it was revealed and as the Sahaba understood and as it should be understood. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us in this month of Ramadan. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم بارك الله فيكم جميعا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.